Welcome to the Corner Pocket, home of the best handicapping breakdown videos in the game. I'm Auzzy Scooper. Going to jump right into this. Seattle at Atlanta. Seattle 8-8-1 against the spread. Atlanta 10-6. Atlanta 14-2 in their games have gone over. Seattle 4-2 run against the totals on the overs. Game where the public will be heavy on Atlanta in the over. The pros are showing their hand that they're on Atlanta as well. My initial read was Atlanta -4, sent out to all my VIP members. If you'd like to hear more about that, contact me. It is all about attention to detail in this business, just like anything. So if you want to hear a little bit more of that, feel free to text, email, call me. Now, this is a rematch of that 2012 game. Russ Wilson 8-3 in the playoffs. Matt Ryan 1-4 with that one lone win coming against Seattle in the 2012 game, 30-28. Danger Russ has a monstrous second half, takes the lead with 30 seconds to go. Matt Ryan takes him down the field for the field goal at the buzzer. Pete Carroll calls timeout on the miss. Matt Bryant gets a second opportunity and drills it. Now Seattle, propensity to start slow in the postseason. Against Atlanta, like I said, 20-0. Against Minnesota in the Blair Walsh games, they were down 9-0 going to the fourth quarter. Last season, 31-0 first Carolina. Came back, made it 31-24. Ran out of clock. Green Bay, NFC Championship game, 16-0 at halftime. New England in the Super Bowl, Detroit last week, both of them were 0-0 going to the second quarter. And then San Francisco, NFC Championship a while back, 10-0, they were down going to the second quarter. So this team has gotten away over the years with slow starts. Now, they are very aware that this is not the same Seattle Seahawks and this is not the same Atlanta Falcons. It is an absolute certain must that they must come out of the gate and establish the run, control the clock, and not put themselves in a hole. This isn't an offense that's explosive that can come back. This isn't the same defense. Without Earl Thomas, detail will be very important for Seattle. Now, the blueprint has been sent out there to everybody on how to beat this Atlanta team. Philadelphia executed it to perfection in their 24-15 win. Top 2 rushing attack for Philly went 32 times for $179 at 5.5 yards a run. Seattle, not the greatest rushing attack, but 23rd in the NFL. Got some momentum and confidence after Rawls goes for 27 and $161 last week versus Detroit, who also didn't have a very good run defense. So it's not like Seattle's going up against some all-time great defense. They're going against one of the 5 worst defenses in the NFL. They can play keep away, keep Matt Ryan off the field, get him thinking a little bit, get him inside his own head. And, you know, these offenses that have these great regular seasons, they get the bye week, and it's hard to kind of come out and play with that same looseness and just having fun. I don't think Atlanta's that type of team that knows how to have that championship mentality like Seattle has proven over the years. Now, Seattle, this offensive line, they are very young. By far the most cheap offensive line from a standard of pay structure on the salary cap. Left tackle, basketball player, only started 22 games. Right guard, Jermaine Ifedi, rookie. Left guard, only 1 start coming in this season. The center, he was yanked halfway through the Tampa Bay game, benched for 3 weeks. So, as moral of the story is, this offensive line is only playing their 6th game together as a unit. A lot of momentum from that Detroit game. Come out here against just an overall bad Atlanta defense, and maybe can play keep away from Matt Ryan. Now, some of these teams that have had success against this Atlanta run defense, Oakland goes 15 for $103. New Orleans, Mark Ingram gashed them twice at 5.4 yards a carry. I told you about Philly, and then San Francisco did it as well. Now, this Seattle line, they're going to have to control the clock as far as running the ball, but it's also going to be very imperative that they can protect Russ in these third down situations against Vic Beasley leading the NFL in sacks at 15.5. Will they be able to get this crowd out of the game and maybe quiet it down so that they can hear the snap count and not just be getting beat off the ball? Now, as far as weapons for Seattle, Doug Baldwin, Paul Richardson, Jimmy Graham, that's nice. With a Russ Wilson that's finally healthy. As the season went on, you started to see him start to be a little bit more mobile again. Now, really, the outside of stopping the run, this matchup is going to come down to the Seattle defense without Earl Thomas against the #1 offense in the NFL. Now, a little sneaky thing here. When Earl Thomas went out, it was tough to adjust. Tampa Bay jumped on him 14-0 early. But really, Jameis only threw for 220 in that game and did most of the damage in the first quarter. After they adjusted to Earl now being in the situation, they played some pretty decent defense, held them to 14. They didn't score the rest of the game. Against Green Bay, when they got beat 38-10, Rodgers only threw for 246. And then against Arizona, this was the game where they give up 31. They win 30. They lose 34-31 as big favorites at home. And in that game, J.J. Nelson, the speedster, beats them deep for 80 yards. And really, that's going to be the key to this game. You can't let Atlanta get the big plays. You got to keep everything underneath, force Matt Ryan to play flawless football, and play with a little bit of composure that we haven't quite seen from him in the postseason. Now, Cliff Averill and Frank Clark combined for 21.5 sacks. That's second in the league in duos. And Michael Bennett, a guy who hasn't been healthy this whole season, similar to a Justin Houston, he's a game wrecker when it comes to the postseason. He's got the versatility to line up interior and just beat these guards from Atlanta down the middle and be in Matt Ryan's face all game. That's going to be the most crucial part of the game. Michael Bennett must be the best player on the field for the Seattle Seahawks to slow down this offense. Now, in round one, when they played each other earlier this season, the Seahawks led 17-3 at halftime, looked like an easy win. In the second half, they had 3 blown coverages, 2 on these mixed wheel route goes where the tight end goes down the left seam, and it's something that I think they're really going to fix. Now, Kyle Shanahan, one of the best offensive coordinators in the league, great mind for football. He might zig and zag and kind of have a counterpunch to Seattle's adjustment, and we'll see. It's going to be a great game to watch. I'm so hyped to watch all 4 of these games, and it's going to come down to the little things. So now as far as opportunities and detail in the game, third down offense, Atlanta, as good as they are, only 10th in the league, kind of shows Matt Ryan's ability to kind of get those little Peyton Manning feet where they move a little too much and he kind of gets a little nervous. Seattle, on the other hand, 15th in the league, 3% lower on third down than Atlanta, but right about where you'd expect them to be. Now, red zone defense. This could be the key part of the game. Seattle, not the best at 20th in the league, but Atlanta dead last at 32nd. They're giving up touchdowns at a 72% clip in the red zone. In red zone offense, pretty standard here. Seattle in the 20s, Atlanta number 9. Another situation where you'd expect this Atlanta offense to be a little bit better in the red zone, just like you'd expect them on third down. So I think Seattle comes out with this me against the world mentality. No one's picking us. We're huge underdogs. We're in a role we haven't been in before. Instead of this slow start, they come out, maybe put Matt Ryan in a turnover early, run the ball. Thomas Rawls hits the hole hard, and they jump on him, maybe 3-7, 10-0 early. Atlanta plays a little catch-up, and, Matt Ryan goes to the half, and he goes, well, I really only had 3-4 opportunities there in the first half, getting my feet wet. By the time this game really settled in, I'm off the field. They're just eating the clock up, taking the play clock down to 2 every time. And I think Seattle can pull off the upset here. I got them up 10-3 the first quarter, 17-7 at halftime, or 17-10 at halftime, and 30-20 on the final. Confidence isn't very high. Like I said, we're on Atlanta at 4. We're playing the middle with Seattle on the other end, but the confidence isn't anything great. The play of the week and one of the top 10 plays of the year is coming tomorrow. Look out for that. I'll see you again here later today with the New England-Houston breakdown. Scooper Dupe, just doing what I do.